Heavy rains and mudslides in KwaZulu-Natal have resulted in the loss of 9 lives this week. The KwaZulu-Natal Department of Cooperative Governance has reported that as mop-up operations continue, 2 additional bodies have been recovered. So it's alleged that the 2 men were swept away while attempting to cross a flooded river in the Umzumbe area of the Ugu District. For more on this, let's cross to SABC News reporter Nonjabulo Mntungwa-Makamu, who's live to us, I understand, from KwaMakuta, if I'm not mistaken. Nonjabulo, thank you very much for your time this morning. Just looking behind you, you can see that, there are mop-up operations that are taking place. I see the grader behind you. What is the situation there? And talk to us about the extent of the damage where you are, as most of these families still count the costs of, all the damage, that has taken place as a result of these heavy rains and mudslides.
Well, yes, greetings to you, Criselda. We are reporting to you live from KwaMakuta. This area is actually on the south of the eThekwini municipality in Durban. And of course, this is one of the locations that is said to be severely devastated by the recent rains that we have seen through the course of this week here in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. And as you have said, that house behind me, Criselda, the family has now been kept into a safety location where they are actually trying to receive assistance from the various government departments that are responsible for them. But over and above that, Criselda, in that house, the family lost a 44-year-old man. It is said that he died when a mudslide crashed into one of the rooms in that house and it buried him alive. But one of the biggest challenges that the Department of Human Settlements said they are currently facing is that some of the families that have been affected in various parts of the province, it is of course that people are now rebuilding in land that they are not supposed to. Apparently the sand is very much saturated and it is the biggest concern because the rain is still continuing in various parts of the province. But just to speak to us more, it is of course the spokesperson for the Department of Human Settlement, Mr. Ndabe, thank you so much for joining us. I know that we've spoken a lot. One of the biggest issues that the department says that they are facing are people who are said to be building now, trying to, restart their lives after they've been devastated by these rains. The biggest concern.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. The MEC for Transport and Human Settlements, Bonso Duma, he was here on Friday together with the Mayor of eThekwini, Councillor Cyril Xaba. You correct. Look, we are trying by all means to assist the families that have been affected. The Nkwanyana family, they are, planning to bury their loved one on Saturday. As you can see at the back, we've got the Yellow Fleet assisting the family just to, recover the little that is left. But the issue that you are raising, as the MEC pointed out on Friday, we are trying by all means to look at various options. Number one, we are assessing the stormwater management infrastructure to see if there's any funding that must be injected so that we attend to that, because the cut-off flow, it is really dumping a lot of rainfall here in KwaZulu-Natal. You recall that in April 2022 we had a cut-off flow that dumped rain of about 300 millimeters. Then in over the past few days we had the rainfall of about 184 millimeters, leaving more than 77 people dead. It is very unfortunate. The MEC has expressed his condolences, but then again linked to that, the MEC is engaging with the traditional leaders in and around eThekwini, Nkosi to see to it that perhaps it is possible to relocate some of the families, because it is quite dangerous to have some of the families living in such areas.
Well, speaking about relocation of some of those who have been devastated by the rains, we know that the 2022 flood victims, some of them, they are still being housed in some of the accommodations in the city of Durban, in the flats there. And I know that the department is working towards trying to secure land, and I know that there are some challenges there. If you can just give us a picture as to how far are you with that, and with those survivors not having been given, suitable land and houses. How is the department going to cope, with these devastations that are continuing?
Well, MEC sponsor Duma is very clear. He says there's no challenge that is above the collective wisdom. We've identified a state land in Shallcross. That is where we are planning to house more than, we're going to have more than 86 sites that are going to be built there. There was a meeting in July in 2024 with the community of Shallcross. There was another meeting in August where, a contractor was introduced, to build, those houses, for families that were affected by the floods of April 2022. Subsequently, in November, when, the contractor was about to start, clearing the site, there was a protest. On Monday last week, the MEC sponsor Duma had a press briefing. He was very clear in that press briefing that, look, he has picked up that there are, unfortunate political leaders that are mobilizing communities, to resist any relocation of, families, especially those that, were affected by the floods of April 2022. Look, this is a violation of their human rights. This is a violation of the Constitution, because we are obligated, as indicated in the Constitution, to build houses for the vulnerable members of society. But then again, the newly appointed head of the department, Maxim Billy, has been given a task to arrange a meeting with the Ratepayers Association, just to make sure that there is that ongoing interaction with those communities. The mayor of eThekwini, Cyril Xaba, the MEC sponsor Duma, will be part of that meeting, so that we begin to present a program of action. In addition, we can also indicate that there are more than 10 pockets of land that have been identified in eThekwini that will actually accommodate more than 4,000 people who are, living homeless, who are waiting for this government, this Department of Human Settlements to provide housing for them.
Okay, Ndabe, just give us some sort of a picture and an idea how many families have been assisted and how bad is the damage?
Well, as you can see at the back, it's very devastating. The MEC, when he was here with the mayor and the, other leaders of society, especially EXCO and eThekwini, he pleaded with all leaders to be closer to the families. The religious leaders were here. On Tuesday, the MEC will be installing the chaplain for the Department of Transport, will also be overlapping, working for the Department of Human Settlement, just to be closer to families that are devastated. We are experiencing the cut-off low. It is a low pressure system that gets separated from the main airflow. You recall that sometime last year the MEC was in the Midlands where the cut-off low resulted in a snowfall. And if you look at the history where we're coming from, 1905 there was a cut-off low that resulted in the rainfall of above 600 millimeters of water. 1905 another cut-off low resulting in a rainfall of above 381 millimeters. Fast forward 1985, devastation. 80,000 people were left homeless because of a cut-off law that left, that dumped a rainfall of more than 670. So we look at, this pattern with the climate change, as the MEC pointed out. With the climate change, we are now looking at the frequency. Before we had, a cut-off law at intervals of about 120 to 150 years. Now it is happening more frequent. That is why the MEC has said to the Department of Transport, the head of department, we need to adapt. If you can see the new designs that we have now, we've got the drainage culverts that are redirecting water so that our roads are not flooded.
Well, thank you so much, Ndabe Zinhle. Well, Criseda, that is Ndabe Zinhle Sibia, who is the spokesperson for the Human Settlement Department here in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. And of course, we will try to locate some of those families who have not yet been assisted, who are said to be rebuilding.